can say hi. No, you never met that guy before. Are you pooping?
Uh,
Okay, good.
uh, a wild maverick appeared.
Balmy Maverick.
He just comes out of nowhere. Oh no, Maverick with the steel chair. Bam. Hey, Maverick.
He may be
Yeah.
in and out. He may be in and out. I'm just saying.
How's he doing? Is he all right?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He just doesn't have school today because they're now officially on their Thanksgiving break. So we have a
Makes sense.
family
Figured as
friend
much.
that'll be coming in probably within the next 10 minutes, watching them. I'll finish the podcast. I'm on the computer, so unfortunately I can't transfer it to my phone unless I join again through the link on my phone. I don't know if that'll happen, but I can try.
I would have to start over it. His little head.
Yeah. So yeah. Today's show is brought to you by Skull and Rippets.
It's actually cheap Longhorn. The unofficial sponsors for this week. Longhorn and Rippet, which I do not condone anybody doing ever with either.
And together.
At the same time, your head might explode.
And I got this wild man behind me. And he's cool. He's cool.
I hope so.
Um,
Week 12. This is
I know.
Bull Moose Lodge podcast. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. Week 12.
Bull Moose Lodge podcast and mortuary service and pizzeria. Where yesterday's loss is today's sauce. We're talking week 12. Or going into week 13. Excuse me. Week 12 is just over. So Joe, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I was just going back to yesterday's loss and today's sauce. It's like a portion clinic and pizzeria where yesterday's loss is today's sauce. I'm like, this looks like a finger. It's sausage.
These fingernails are cheese. I don't know.
Fuck it.
YOLO.
We got to talk about the big one, right? The big one that happened Friday where Daniel Jones approached the ownership of the New York Giants and asked for his release, right? And they granted it. He cleared waivers, knowing if he was picked up on waivers that team picking him up would have to pick up the contract as well. And so no team's going to do that because he's not, worth $47 million this year. But anywho, so now he's officially a free agent. I think, that sent a message. I'm not saying a good one in the Giants locker room because the Giants, going right to that Bucs game. I don't know if you caught it. I watched the entire thing and it was utterly depressing. The Giants played with like pretty much zero energy. Didn't get no sacks. DeVito looked uncomfortable. And the offense, it was just sputtering at best, if you want to call it that. I'm still up in the air if Dable and Shane are going to be done after this year. But then again, at the same time, they weren't given the best quarterback. They were given this is what you got to work with, make it work. And hopefully the ownership sees that hey, it didn't work, because last week's loss doesn't say that it was a quarterback issue. That was a team issue. And I'm not saying, and I think there was the Giants granting the release of Daniel Jones and how easily they just let him walk. And I think that sent definitely a bad taste through the locker room.
Yeah, and it's let me start by saying they put themselves in this position, right? I totally understand wanting to make sure, given give the kid a chance. You know, he gives you glimpses of what's possible with him, but he also gives you glimpses
Yeah.
of what's not possible. So
Reality.
you definitely want to give the kid a chance to develop, to be the best quarterback he can be, and see if it's where you want to go moving forward.
No, he's not to
With that,
his sorry to interrupt. To his benefit, there I think he was on to like 3 offensive coordinators as well. Got drafted in 2019, I believe. The coach then was Joe Judge. Or no, Pat Schumer, I think. Last year, Schumer, then he got fired. Then Joe Judge came in, lasted 2 seasons, got fired. Now he's on Dable. So it's 3 different types of offensive systems with 4 different types of coordinators because Dable is calling the plays. So you say he's pretty much the offensive coordinator of the Giants, and has this, can every quarterback pick up a system that, quick when it's changing so often? It's not like you're dealing with an elite player where you build, essentially like if you're given like a Peyton Manning or a Patrick Mahomes, like you can throw them like, okay, what system where, you are you, let's build around you instead of, hey, we're going to throw you in this offensive system. You got to make it work. I don't think the Giants really played 100% towards his strengths, which granted, we're not very many. He had a, I guess, the deep ball, but it's 6 years of the Giants trying to find it with a quarterback, and now we're in prime position. I mean, yes, there's 7 weeks left, 6, sorry, and now what do you do? Do you try to go out and win some games, or do you try to tank to get that number 1 pick? If I'm the Giants right now, I would at least try to get the locker room back as from a coaching standpoint, and maybe you need to feed them some rippets. But go out and try and play, right? I mean, if you're successful, you literally have 0 to lose. If you go out and just like, look, the season's lost, right? Let's go out there. Let's, win as a team. Let's lose as a team. Let's try to get better for next season, right? And if you can get the locker room back together and kind of sell it, like, let's go out there, let's give it a fight. Let's see where the cards fall. That's what I think the Giants should do. So, to keep the higher draft pick, I think there's 1 quarterback scout, for this year that's getting scouted. Not saying the Giants should draft him, but he's going to be the only quarterback available essentially in the first round that's worth a first round. He plays for Colorado State under Deion Sanders.
you know what? You could blame, and I think a lot of people, excuse me, are beyond. Will say this: you can only blame Daniel Jones so much. You know what I mean? It was the last 5-6 years. It was a systemic problem. How many, like you said, how many coaches did they go through? How many coordinators did they go through? The best players will struggle with that, but Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, early Aaron Rodgers, Peyton, I said him right. Drew Brees, they could adjust pretty quickly because they have the experience. They were able to settle in, figure it out, and can adjust on the fly. He was doomed from the start. You know, he could have been the next John Elway, what he was doing from the start,
You know,
and it's unfortunate. And you know, I want to say I feel bad for him, but when he's sitting on his stacks and stacks and stacks of money, he's like, eh, you know what?
he can't be. He's the one who asked for his release.
And
Right?
there was
It's
something else I was going to say.
It's not like the Giants said, "Hey, you're cut." It's he went to the ownership and said, "Hey, I want my release," and they granted it.
Well,
It was going to happen anyway in the off season. And I think I think the message was they did it 3/4 of the way through the season, and that's what put the bad taste in the locker room. So I won't be shocked, honest to God, if the Giants don't win another game. Like, I will not be shocked.
and they did everything but cut him. He was like what, practice squad, like backup practice squad. They dropped him so far down on the list on the depth chart that they're like, we ain't gonna fire you, but we're gonna do everything in our power to make you quit. You know what I mean?
Too, with dropping him down to third on the depth chart when they benched him. And then they dropped him to fourth string. They signed a quarterback to the practice squad, and he's with the scout team playing safety. Right? And what look is that when you sign, supposedly your franchise quarterback, right? And now you got him playing on the scout team as a safety.
Yeah.
And not to knock him, but probably not a good one. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for asking for his release. He's like that. I'd be less insulted if you did fire me. You know what I mean?
The Giants were doing the one thing, trying to protect him from injury, which I get, right? Because then they had to own $23 million because they had an injury clause. But to go to the limits of essentially disrespecting the man, I think you would have left him benched as the third string. Leave it at that, because it's not like Jones wasn't going out there and trying. I saw effort, but and we know in today's league that 99% of the time, if the offense is sputtering, they're going to blame it right on the quarterback. Regardless if it's a bad O-line, you got no running game, the receivers can't catch the ball, they're going to point right to the damn quarterback and saying, you got to put the ball where they need it, right? And, and it's, I would say, it's definitely a systemic problem, like you were saying, but also it is a Daniel Jones problem. Like, because, he could be rather limited on what he could do. And I'm not saying he won't be successful. Obviously, he wasn't successful with the Giants. He had a good year 2 years ago. But what's to say that, if he finds the right system and he signs with the right team, that he can't be successful, right? And I think that's what just needs to happen, is he needs to find an offensive-minded, other than Dabo, because obviously they didn't work, but like a Kyle Shanahan type head coach to really mentor him, to really kind of reset him, be like, look, you're in the prime of your life. You can really turn it around, and here are the tools you're going to do it with, right? Daniel Jones, to your point, who is his number one wideout? What weapons did the Giants provide him? Other than the mistake of signing Kenny Golladay, who didn't do crap, right? I mean, it was. Sorry, I'm on my wife's computer. She's getting text messages. Ding, ding, ding.
I'll take.
But anyway, but to wrap up the talk with the Daniel Jones thing, I wish him the best of luck. He took it every punch. New York, you could say that, you can vouch for this. New York is probably the hardest market to play in whatever sport. There is so much pressure put on every franchise that represents New York. to be successful, like the Yankees, right? They made it to the series, but you expect them to win. They didn't, right? You know, you got the Jets and you got the Giants, you know, the New York market there, and they're both tanking right now. And so,
Yeah,
you know, that's some added pressure. Like, you know, Aaron Rodgers, I don't think was ready for that kind of market. His biggest threat was cheese.
and
now,
like every
now you got to deal with pissed off Italians in Jersey, in New York.
and you know, if you look at Boston, right, the pressure was the Celtics in Boston had pressure on them. The Lakers in LA have pressure on them. Even, especially with in Boston, the New England area. New England never had that kind of pressure, especially with Tom Brady. Right? It's expected. Right? They never had that kind of bloodlust and anger in their eyes. You know, LA sports teams, the Dodgers, to a degree, I've seen it out here. But New York, it is every team all the time. If you're doing great, they will cheer you. They will be behind you. If you are sucking, they will let you know. And that goes from the Yankees, Mets, Rangers, Knicks, friggin' the Nets, across the board. The only city that will come close is Philadelphia.
Yeah, but Philadelphia will even destroy the city when they win.
Yeah, I was gonna say, win or lose, they will burn down Philadelphia. They do not care.
They might be confused a little bit.
Yeah. But they're the closest team to New York when it comes to absolute bloodlust.
Right. I mean, granted, I think every market will let you know, like they'll stand behind you if you're winning and let you know if you're losing. But New York, it's like tenfold. Like, you don't hear of the Green Bay market, right? And what pressure you got on besides the cattle or whatever they got going on out there. New York, you got 10 million people in the city that all are going to be rooting for either the Jets or the Giants. They better not be rooting for the fucking Dallas Cowboys. It's America's team. We're not fucking, not New York or Jersey.
That's both the beauty and the down, little. I would say the beauty of New York. You'll get fans of every team.
Mm-hmm.
Like 75% of it is New York-based teams. But then, whether it's the Giants, Jets, the Buffalo Bills, whatever. But then that other 25% you'll throw in New England fans, Dallas fans, LA fans, because either they came from all over the place or they lived somewhere for a few years and became fans of that team. So it is, New York being the melting pot that it is, you're going to get fans from everywhere. So, but you could see even like the difference between a New York fan being a fan of a New York team and a New Yorker being a fan of any other team. They're not going to have the same frustration and we're the best. We got to be the best. We're always the best. So.
Hopefully fans realize it. It's the market that puts the pressure on the team. New York will be back up there again. I think every team has got to go through its cycle, right? I mean, some teams are more successful longer than others. Like New England, right? 19 or 20 years, division titles or whatever it was. It was insane, all the success they had. But going forward, let's see what happens. I didn't see really any huge surprises. I mean, Carolina almost did pull it out against the Chiefs, I did send you that picture of the score tied up, which was like, oh. Carolina came to play spoilers, and
Yeah.
you can't be mad at themselves for losing that game.
No, like that was a good game to lose. Like everybody would have expected them to go into Kansas City or Kansas City to go into Carolina, and it'd be a 30-7 blowout. Nobody was expecting it to be 30-27 and go by a field goal.
Yeah. But like to everyone's saying, good teams find a way to win, right? And it could be, in Kansas City is not the Kansas City of old. Kansas City of old 2 years ago, they would blow you out to win, right? Now Kansas City's finding ways to win because they can't blow teams out.
Yeah, and it goes to show you that everybody on that team, like they don't win all those Super Bowls by luck. They won them because they're good teams. Yep. You could maybe get into that Giants team that ended the streak. You could, they were a good team. You don't get to the playoffs by not being a good team. But a lot of it was being hot and being lucky. I'll be the first person to say it. They got hot at the right time and they were lucky for it.
Right.
And it goes to show that Kansas City is that good team that, even if they're hurting, they're struggling or whatever, they could still pull out, victories. I mean, shit, they're what? 9-1, 10-1 now, like they're not bad.
No. And do I expect them to lose one or two more games? I do, right? But we'll get there. I didn't see any other major surprises. The Eagles dominated the Rams. Saquon went off. Hit 302 total yards, which was absolutely insane.
Yeah, he got me like 40-something points in fantasy.
Yeah, it was like 44 points in fantasy. He got up some owners. Because he had 2 touchdowns, 255 rushing yards, and like 40-something receiving yards. He went off, right? And it just goes to show, like, you put a great player with a great team. This is what he does. And now, like I said, I wish him the best going forward. Fred's here. Hey, I'm gonna throw a slipper bigger than you. Shit your pants.
The only shocker from Week 12 that I would say is Cleveland beating Pittsburgh.
I didn't pick it. You didn't pick it. Hi, Kelsey. I'm just doing a podcast in my body. Huh? Oh, no worries.
They're your tits.
Apparently she's late. Hey.
So, Week 13 brought to you by Kibbles and Bits Dog Food. Get the dogs going.
Brought to you by Shock Collars.
They're still going.
The only time I see a dog jump when they bark,
I always say, if your dog bounces when it barks, it's not a dog. It's a fashion accessory.
Week 13. Let's get in it.
All right. So Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. We got 3 games going. First game, the 2-9 Giants versus the 4-7 Dallas Cowboys. I'm not even gonna say who I'm picking.
Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I would really appreciate maybe some sort of Giants winning on Thanksgiving.
It took 13 weeks of the embarrassment for me. So moving on, the 4-7 Bears versus the 10-1 Detroit Lions.
Lions.
You know what? I'll be happy with a Detroit win on Thanksgiving. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. You know, they could really just focus on the one game if they just had Detroit face the Cowboys.
Yeah. You know, the Bears, the Giants might have a chance. As much of a clown show as the Cowboys are right now, and sometimes they usually are. No. But the 5-6 Miami Dolphins versus the 8-3 Green Bay Packers. Last game for Thanksgiving.
Go Pack, go.
I agree. They're gonna bring the cheese at the dinner.
Look at that. The Dolphins cut the cheese.
Yeah. It's not gonna be a Dolphin safe tuna game. All right,
Friday.
The 2-9 Raiders versus the 10-1 Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, if I can discuss this game, you know, it's a division rival, right? You know, everyone's heavily favored as the Chiefs. You know, you got the great Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce hitting that pancake ass for Taylor Swift.
Don't act like you wouldn't.
Shake it off.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
I'm going fucking Raiders.
All right.
Hey, this is it. Now, look at you. You have a decision to make, my friend. You either prep the couch or happy life.
No. See, this is a game that regardless of what I pick, I can't lose. Because it's either my wife's family's team or my wife's love for Taylor Swift. So either way, I'm good.
We're good.
Yeah. I literally cannot lose. So
you suck.
Things are prepped. The sheets are clean. And, you know, might shake it off. Might get called Tim McGraw. I don't know. Something's going to get rated, though. Okay? So going into...
Your bunghole by Lemmy Wings.
Hey. Something's getting pounded. Like the Giants. I've been doing all season.
Oh, it's not offensive. The Redskins were...
So, anyway. First game of December. Sunday, December 1st. 5-7 Colts versus the 3-9 New England Patriots.
I'm going to go Patriots.
Going Pats?
No Pats. Hello?
Hello. Yeah, I'm going Indy. One of those games that, yeah, they're both So it could go either way. I'm just picking the opposite. Got nothing else to say.
Excuse me. I gotta take this.
Take it.
Hello? Good. How you doing, Karen? Yep. Okay. Same week. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Karen. Yep. You too. Bye-bye.
Fucking Karen.
My siding is being delivered Monday
Right.
from the storm we had back in July.
It's just now getting delivered.
Yeah.
Fucking insurance.
It's we're going with a shamrock green.
Shamrock green.
Shamrock green. You know, for the look of the Irish. Nacho!
Apparently Nacho doesn't like shamrock green. Apparently.
No. Okay, let's rifle through the teams.
Pittsburgh and Cincinnati.
Pittsburgh. Wait. Pittsburgh. Cincinnati. Pittsburgh. Cincy.
You know, with
Male
go with,
baldness.
again, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna go Cincinnati.
We're on the Cincinnati. We're on the Cincinnati. We're on the Cincinnati.
Pittsburgh just losing to Cleveland. They might be like, fuck Ohio. And got a lot. Get another loss. So just maybe Pittsburgh will go in there, try some of that Skyline chili and get the shit. I don't know. But yeah, I'll go Cincinnati just to, be different. Chargers versus Atlanta.
Chargers. You're picking the Chargers too, I'm assuming.
You know what? I'm in a mood. I'm gonna go Atlanta.
You're literally going to every opposite pick that I'm going with.
It's not gonna be everyone.
One of us is going to be right, folks.
The 50-50 chance.
The 6 people that watch this.
And we thank them for it.
Yes. I'll mail Rip
Right. Hopefully we bring in the Rip It crowd.
I'll sign it too.
Not the other Rip It crowd. Seattle and the Jets.
Seattle.
Agreed.
Okay, I was going to say, don't you do it.
I've made some questionable decisions in my life, but this is going to be wonderful. Neither will this one be. The Texans versus Jacksonville.
Texans. Which is shocking. They're coming off a loss against the Titans.
Yeah, but it was got it on the paper here. It was a close game, though.
Yeah, well, you got to go back to that paper, because the paper's official and shit.
Yeah, because I can't remember shit, so.
The only thing you can do to top it is get it notarized.
Yeah. You want to do the little thingies and go.
Every week you go get this notarized.
Sir, what is this? Stop wasting our time. Arizona versus Minnesota.
I'm going Arizona.
I'm going Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota. Tennessee versus Washington.
Washington.
Speaking of Washington, I don't think I sent it to you, but I sent you the Road Warriors one from T Public. They also have, and excuse me. Well, and I showed Katie, and she was just like shaking her head. They have a Washington Caucasian shirt, and I have a bunch of shirt designs saved. I'm like, do I buy the Washington Caucasian shirt? You know what?
Do you buy it?
Do I buy it? Do I want to be that guy?
Yeah, you do.
The 5-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the 3-8 Carolina Panthers.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay is not as good of a team as Kansas City, obviously. And Carolina stayed with and almost beat Kansas City. I want to see if they can keep that engine going. I'm going to take a chance on Carolina. Never thought I'd say it, but throw Carolina on the paper.
First the sandwich, now the team.
Which sandwich?
Carolina. What type of sandwich?
Oh, I never heard of Carolina sandwich.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
I was confused. The 5-6 Rams versus the 4-7 New Orleans Saints.
Rams.
The Battle of the Birds, Philadelphia and Baltimore.
I am going to go Philadelphia.
I'm going to go Baltimore purely out of the fact that I already picked 2 NFC East teams to win that weren't the Giants.
That
I'm not pressing my luck. I'm not going to get struck by lightning today. So I'm going Baltimore.
but you will stub your toe.
Possibly. That is a very good possibility.
Hope you do.
Put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Hope that world championship falls on you too.
You know, I hope that record burns when it comes out. Of all ends.
You've already had something burn when you peed before, so.
San Francisco versus Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Dixie Devil.
Now the Monday night game that everybody wants to see.
Oh no.
Cleveland and Denver.
Denver. I missed the Drew Carey show.
It'd be the best thing to come out of Cleveland.
No. Not too many good things come out of Cleveland.
Cleveland has its moments, but moments.
Well, thank you for your time, Joe. Gobble.
Thank you for yours. You are a scholar and a gentleman.
Thank you.
And till next week, you got anything to add?
Don't smoke crack.
Agreed. That's probably a good motto to live by, just like making sure you spay and neuter your pets.
It's up there. Top 10.
Don't do drugs. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins.
Make sure you kill the hook when you're done so you get your money back.
They're not real people. They don't have souls.
No, that hole got filled a couple minutes ago.
Yeah. And it'll get filled again because they're trying to fill that hole that their daddy left.
Okay. All right. Until next time.
And for the record, that was a joke. Do not come after me. I have nothing to offer.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, bud.
Yep,
Till next week. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You as well.
Gobble, gobble.